It's justice. Neo-evangelicals, these clowns, these beggars, these reprobates with the gospel campaign movements and the Pentecostal jumping up and down, they don't want justice. They don't want justice. They don't want truth. They don't want anything but entertainment. Justice. When a person goes to court, he wants justice. He doesn't want a clown sitting there pronouncing whatever he likes to be behind that bench. He wants justice. We are not satisfied until justice is done. Neither are the saints of God under the Old Testament. Oh, but they've gone to heaven. Oh, and all this. It's justice. It's crying out on their behalf and as a part of them. As the blood cries out in the earth for justice, as the blood of Christ cries out for justification. And remember, when Christ speaks, I never knew you, it is justification speaking. Christ represents justification. The Lamb of God represents justification. They both speak justification. Let us not be ignorant of these things. So when Christ speaks in chapter 25 verse 13 of Matthew, depart from me, ye that work iniquity, I never knew you. Well, people will say, well, you must have known you because you are the Creator. But it's the voice of the finished work of Christ, justification, that does not know them, because it was not worked out for them and sealed for them. It's only for the church. But it is so knitted to Christ that it is Christ that is speaking. It's one and the same. Moses speaks of the law. When we speak of Moses, we're speaking of the law. When we speak of law, we're speaking of Moses. They're one and the same. White robes were given unto them, that they should rest a little season. Okay. Verse 11. We continue on. And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a while, little season, a little season. Okay. And also that brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Well, we see this in the apostles. We see this in the Stephens and the Pauls. And the persecution. And the stonings. The murderous Jews against them. Then shall the end be ushered in. The death knell against political Jewry was sounded at Calvary. The death knell. And it resounded across that time, across that season. And it hit it in AD 70 with Imperial Rome surrounding Jerusalem with various nations within those forces, people from out of every nation surrounding Jerusalem. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Now then, what's this but the fall of Israel? Natural Israel. The sixth seal. the finish, the man, the Israel of the Old Testament is here finished. Completely finished. Open up the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. Well, the foundations of Israel, the political foundations, were shaken to their very foundations. They were to be removed. Israel was to be removed, even as we that are convicted of sin. Our foundations of our hearts are shaken and removed, and the towers of sin come crashing down. And all our idols go to the caves, to the bats. This iniquitous city that we have within us, the foundations of our hearts come crashing down. And there is a new heart, a new disposition to a new character that should grow, given to us of God. Our disposition is no longer against God, as the Jews' natural Jewry is against God. No. Political Jewry was shaken to its foundations, and the sun became black, a sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. This is the rule and authority over political Israel, that too begins not to shine anymore, not to be bright anymore, not to lead the people on anymore into iniquity, in actual fact. Black as sackcloth of hair. Aye, the great rulers, or the chief rulers of the Sanhedrin, all rule and authority became darkened. No light to see, no light to guide, of reason, even the reason of man, is all cut off. And the stars fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken on mighty wind. The stars, of course, again, are the oversight the ministers of state, of the Sanhedrin, the ministers of the church, of political Israel. None of them could stand. They fell to the earth. In other words, they became grossly earthy. They didn't know what to do. One moment they're reasoning this and reasoning that and reasoning the other and being these guiding lights to the people. The next moment there's such chaos and pandemonium in their thoughts. What they're going to do, man, this, what we're going to do, man, that, we don't know. We'll just keep waffling on and on and on. We'll tread water. And look at the Roman armies, they're amassing. They're coming towards us and amassing. What are we going to do? We don't know. No rule or authority. Everything is just gone into meltdown. Nobody knows what to do. There's no guiding lights. Nobody's to navigate them through all this chaos and confusion. Everything is going down the pan. Political Israel is in a mess. There's nobody to look to. All the leaders have gone, fallen. They don't know themselves. how to govern anymore. And the people would turn to them. Give us instruction, the light of instruction. I don't know. Fend for yourselves. I have no idea anymore. Then of course, the hierarchy here, the Sanhedrin, the vast majority of them ran away from the people. The people that had paid them and trusted them to be in those seats of authority, to be the guiding lights in the firmament of their heaven. But they were no more. They dispatched themselves, they ran away from the people, left the people to fend for themselves. But of course, the people were equally responsible for having these hypocrites and for crying out, let the blood of Christ be upon our heads and upon our children's heads. It was a state. You know, the end time prophets say, oh, one day all the heavenly hosts will fall to the earth. What a blind beggars they are. You mean trillions of planets will hit the earth? One planet approaching the earth would destroy the earth. Approaching it, let alone fall on it. The sun's going to be darkened. The moon's not going to give her light. The moon hasn't got any light. It's borrowed from the sun. A simple metaphor for the oversight and the various levels of the oversight of political Israel. And so you would have the prime ministers and the deputy prime minister. Prime minister's the sun. Deputy prime minister, the moon. We're using loose terms now to try and describe what was going on. Mr. Begin wasn't exactly there, but he could have been there. Right? And as an untimely tree, as it were, figs falling from an untimely tree, Christ cursed the fig tree, cursed Israel after the flesh. And of course everything was going along quite nicely, except the oversight was always stirring up the people, and there was false prophets, Bar Cosbas of this world, stirring up the people to fight Imperial Rome, that if they had this Imperial Rome, their power broken from off Israel, Israel could shine once more, could have its own independence. Oh, yeah, of course it could. The people were going to battle and losing, quite naturally, losing. And they all came to a head when least they thought, instead of going out to attack the Romans had had enough. And the senators had enough of Rome and said, right, we'll get rid of this thorn in the flesh. Once for all, we're going to deal with this. It's the cheapest way. It's the most swiftest way. No more trouble from these beggars. And they went out and they massed against Israel. And they took Israel away and burnt its temple. And of course they said it was accidental. Maybe to them it was accidental, maybe it was purposeful. But not according to providence. Not according to Lord Jesus Christ, who orders all things and orders providence to burn that down. Burn it down. And it was burnt down. And the city burnt. And the great diaspora showed that the Gentiles had received the salvation of the Lord, that indeed salvation no longer belonged to a political Israel. Salvation as a nominal thing, so to speak. It went out into all the world, along with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, went out into all the world. No one else now looked to Israel for the God of Israel, but went out into the whole world. And the heaven departed as a scroll, when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place. You see, the heavenly firmament that was over, the political firmament, was removed. That Israel was taken away. Everything that constituted natural Israel was taken away. Its heavenly place in the world removed. Scroll. Rolled up. Put away. In an archive. This is what it used to be. For anyone who wishes to look into the archives, and you'll see what is scrolled there. As a parchment to be read. With marvel that such a people should have such a God nigh unto them. And it comes to this. It came to this, didn't it? And every mountain, yes, everything that was firm and strong and high was taken away. Disposed of. Destroyed. Everything. And now they had a mountain of troubles that they could not remove. A mountain of troubles. And every island were moved out of their place. Islands, singularity. What are islands? No man is an island. We are told. No man is an island. Now that's secularism. God has declared there are islands, singular people, separated from the common order of things. If you like, eunuchs. The Pauls of this world, islands, uncontaminated from the mainland, of what's going on in the mainstream world of media and of politics, uncorrupted from that leaven that leavens every soul that is there. Islands. And we still have islands. People separated from the mainland and the mainstream things of this world, are separated in their thoughts, in their intellect, in their understanding, separated. They see things as they are, not as they're presented to be. They have not taken in the leaven of the Pharisees, of this pernicious world. And when it comes to them, they resist it. And if they take a bit in, they discover it and cast it out. Work to cast it out. It's not coming onto my island. It's barred. Don't come here. Don't come sailing across. You've made shipwreck of the rest of your life. Don't come sailing across to me to try and wreck my life. No, you keep to yourselves. And I'll stand on my island and I'll preach from my island the things that are. Not as you present themselves to be, Mr. World. Verse 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens, in the rocks of the mountains. In other words, they hid themselves in the world. Well, I don't want it. Nothing to do with Israel. Nothing to do with me. What? Political Israel? No. No. No, nothing to do with me. Oh, I see they've got their justice. Oh, yeah. Hey? Oh, they hid themselves. Oh. Hid themselves. Under mountains of subtlety. Absolute subtlety. That's what they did. The thing about it is they were being politically correct in their time to save their own skins. They would go out and defame people. They wouldn't present themselves to be anything but good people. Arbitrary. Obfuscation and manipulation of words. Everything. Climb beneath the rocks. Oh! Yeah. Hiding away, you see, under words. Denying any association with political Israel because of the backlash. Because they didn't want to lose their positions or their money. Nothing. Like anything else. When everything's going right, there's a mass of followers. When everything's going wrong, where are they? Where are they?